Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Believes Crypto Show, where we take major crypto news events of the day and see what's happening so that you know what's going on in the crypto world. My name is Believes, and I'm your host, so please do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified of future content if you enjoy it, and we're going to kick off tonight after this jump with these, our top stories.
It's your boy Bleeves. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
All right, guys, so it is an interesting day right now. We're starting to get data out. That data is looking really, really good. The biggest set of data that we've got right now, however, is this, that people have stopped selling. These ghouls and goblins, and call them what you will, but they have stopped selling. And now, let me pop something up here. And we are in power. All right, George Lopez Garcia, good evening. Penguin, let's go. Hopefully some of the all-time highs soon for Bitcoin and altcoins will happen in Q1. It looks like that's the way it's going to play out. It really does right now look like that's the way that it's going to play out. Vive Zombies in the house. What's going on, man? So I think that we're in a good spot. I think ultimately what we're looking at is a big rally. The market is set for what should be a significant sort of rally. And now anything can happen. Anything could change in this market dynamic. The Clarity Act is where everything is. So that's the thing that's going to matter the most. So let's start off with the big news article. And first one up is this. Bitcoin rises, long-term holders stop selling. Will Bitcoin end 2025 in the green? And according to crypto quant data, the index for selling stood at negative 0.14 on December 30th. That was the weakest reading since February. The index was in the red for 16 straight days to end December. During that same stretch, Bitcoin failed to record a weekly close above 90,000. Analysts say the prolonged weakness reduces confidence that a market bottom is already in place. US-driven selling pressure has shown persistence with no clear reversal signal yet. Analyst Johnny said in an X post, though, that the biggest indicator of a local bottom will be in when Coinbase premiums return. A comparable setup unfolded earlier this year. A sharp drop in the Coinbase premium index emerged in February, where Bitcoin tumbled below 80,000. The price recovered shortly thereafter. Analysts believe the current extreme reading could lead to a similar outcome. So we'll be looking to see this. ETF flows have slowed down significantly, so we're looking for a signal. We're looking for a reason to buy. And look no further than where we are right now in the market, okay? Look no further than that. I forgot my Bears feed was still up everywhere. But anyway, the trend, however, means that people are doing the 4-year cycle. They're cashing out when they can. They're taking their profit along the way, and we'll see what happens. But it looks like the market is about to have a nice little shift. Now, moving on, Grayscale has filed with the SEC to convert the GTAO trust into the first BitTensor ETF. Now, you guys know I'm a big fan of the TAO token coin, and BitTensor is a massive project. Now, you might look around and you might say to yourself, nobody's talking about TAO. Nobody's talking about BitTensor. And you would be right in saying that. there's only a few of us that are really talking about the BitTensor project, but guess what? It's got a $3 billion market cap. So it doesn't matter whether somebody's talking about it or not, people are actually paying attention to it, and that's exactly what you want to see. So this is a great thing. I think that the SEC filing shows that Grayscale has filed a Form S-1 to convert BitTensor Trust into an ETF, which could potentially become the first ETF to provide institutional investors with 100% spot exposure to the AI token TAO. The asset manager also revealed that it plans to list the fund on the New York Stock Exchange ARCA under the ticker GTAO. The filing follows BitTensor Network's first halving event, which took place on December 14. Didn't rally the price, but by the way, remember that Bitcoin price didn't exactly rally off of that either, which, look, we're looking for some big moves. Obviously, we didn't get any kind of big move and significant move right after the halving. It takes time for these things to happen, right? But December 14, the emissions were cut in half. The TAO halving cut daily token issuance from 7,200 to 3,600, a move expected to boost the price of the top AI token moving forward. Now, this means what I told you guys just recently, that it is my belief that there's a rally coming for TAO to about $700, currently sitting around 220. I think there's going to be a significant play here on TAO. There is institutional demand. There's investor demand. It's the #1 AI token in all of crypto, and that's going to speak volumes when AI makes its recovery. Now, AI has been in sell-off mode in all markets, so it's going to take a reversal. A lot of people thought that AI might be overvalued, that it's in a bubble. So we'll see how the correction lasts, and then we'll see what people really think. And it should also be, we should obviously say that the problem with most of this right now is that the shine is off of crypto, the shine is off of AI. It's all happening at the same time, and still TAO is sitting at $220 per coin. So significant. And I've got a couple more since in the last couple days. So TAO halving is done. We got another one in 4 years. And the only thing that I should tell you guys is that the eventual supply, 21 million. It's going to be just like Bitcoin, and AI might be bigger than Bitcoin at some point. So TAO token, I think, is going to go a long way in this next bull run. And I do think that we're set for an actual bull run. Now, in important news, the FOMC, most Fed officials said further rate cuts are appropriate if inflation declines. Now, if you go back and you look at the Fed numbers, and you go look at, if you're checking your MAGA friends, then you're seeing them sharing data right now, talking about inflation being at 2.7%, that it's over, that we finally got this, that we got this low number. There were 20 indicators that we were supposed to use to give you the inflation number. They only used 3. So I told you before that I don't think that the Trump administration is great for, how do I say it? Giving you all of the data. They only gave you gas prices and new car purchases and used car purchases. That's the only data. They ignored food prices. They ignored utility costs. They ignored everything else except those 3 data points. Now, one of the problems with that, of course, was the shutdown. So there was no way for them to do anything about it, but still there should have been a little bit more. Now, a few people dissented and said that they don't think that it's appropriate to cut any more rates, but the majority, it's now coming out, are talking about rate cuts. According to the minutes, most participants judged that it would be likely and appropriate to make further downward adjustments to the federal funds. Meanwhile, regarding the extent of timing and additional cuts, some participants suggested that under the economic outlook, it would likely be appropriate to keep the interest rate unchanged for some time. Now, it doesn't matter what they think at this point. Here's the real deal. The next rate cut, if they decide that they're not going to do that, if they decide that they're going to hold rates the way that they are, don't worry, because guess what? By May, the Trump administration will have their own guy in there, and we will start getting 50 basis point cuts immediately, okay? They will go and they will act accordingly, and they will try to spice up all of these markets, and they will try to make sure that the investors are able to start buying and selling, and they're not paying additional fees, and they will start lending. Everything is going to blow up as soon as this starts happening. And remember, when something like this happens, not only does the rate of borrowing for all of the people who are borrowing in order to make money, not only are those people affected, but you in your credit card, you're gonna have more money in your pocket with Fed rate cuts, with your car, with, you know, you're paying prime, you're paying your interest plus prime, right? Your mortgage, everything that's up a little bit is going to start coming back down. We're at 400 basis points right now. I think so. Nice cut or 2 or 10 or 20 is going to go a long way to put more money in your pocket and more money in everybody's pocket. So be watching for that to happen over the next little while. And finally, he says, without having his hand on the button, what to expect from crypto in 2026. Hasib Qureshi explains. Now, if you don't know who Hasib Qureshi is, he's the manager at Dragonfly, which is a crypto-based venture firm. And he's been analyzing this market for a long time. And this is what he says, and I'm going to quote him here. He says, I think 2026 is going to be a surprise, both to the upside and to the downside. One of his notable forecasts was that Bitcoin's price future surge will go to a new all-time high of 150,000 by the end of 2026. While this bullish projection has sparked widespread optimism, it starkly contrasts with the prediction of expert Peter Brandt. Now, when I use Peter Brandt and expert, I'm going to use that term loosely. All right. Hasib Qureshi further wrote about his thoughts on fintech chain's future. He believes that blockchain platforms like Ethereum and Solana will exhibit a remarkable year. And at the same time, chains like Tempo, Arc, and Robinhood are likely to fall short of meeting expectations. According to experts' statement, tech giants like Google, Facebook, and Apple are expected to launch crypto wallets next year. Fortune 100 companies, including Avalanche, OP Stack, Orbit, and ZK Stack, are likely to launch their own blockchains. So there's a lot happening here. In DeFi, Qureshi foresees the future consolidation in the perpetual DEX market, with 3 major venues dominating. Now, basically what he's saying is this: there are too many DEXs out here with Uniswap and Aster and Lighter and all of these guys just cropping up everywhere. It's the new meta to get people to buy. Well, guess what? Somebody's going to come through and they're going to start buying these things up. And then when they start buying them up, they're going to consolidate. We've never seen consolidation come to crypto. The only place that we saw it was the super artificial intelligence network, Fetch. That's the only place that we've really seen it so far. So that's going to be something to be watching out for in 2026. He also added the market share of Tether's USDT token is likely to dip to 55%. He does think that it's going to be offset by massive growth of stablecoin-backed cards. He believes that stablecoin cards will potentially grow by 1,000% this year. And basically what that means is, instead of a Visa or MasterCard, you'll have a Visa or MasterCard that's prepaid, and all you have to do is transfer your stablecoin onto that card. Now, you can currently use Coinbase One, and you can use the Coinbase card, or you can use the Crypto.com card, but they're credit cards, so they're charging you an interest rate off of that. This is going to cut through that. It's going to allow you to just pay with stablecoin, and that's the future right now of finance, especially for people in Web3. Now, let's get back into chat and see what's going on with chat. Nothing. Ooh, you guys suck. All right, now let's move on and let's get into what is going on all of these charts. Now, we had outflows on the ETF, but it was a light outflow yesterday, meaning that I suspect we're going to see a big move coming up very, very soon. We're not going to look through all of these. We're just going to say that Bitcoin is the dominant one right now, and as long as they're the dominant one, we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. We'll let you know. Fear and Greed Index is back down to 23. Still not seeing a big pump out of it, not seeing the big movement that we're looking for, but we know that it's in the cards. We're also seeing that sideways action right now before what looks to be a surge. As you can see from this chart, there's a surge most likely headed upwards to grab into the liquidity that's up at the top of this range right here. Let me circle that for you. That little channel right there, coming in a little bit over 90,000 right now, seems to be the next target for Bitcoin and crypto. Now, let's get into some charts here. I did organize the charts to try to help out here. We ended up on a green day, by the way. Not huge, but a green day nonetheless. And let's go to the daily charts. You can see that right here. We had a big surge up here. Didn't maintain the big surge, but didn't have that big red candle like we had the other day. And by the way, remember I told you the doji candle from a couple days ago would lead to a reversal and a spike. It's actually trending to the up. So we had that doji candle, then we had a move up, a move up, a move up, and we'll see how today goes, but it looks like we're moving slowly but surely back towards that upside, which is a good thing to see right now in the markets, because we need to see some kind of positivity coming out of it. Now, let's talk about Bitcoin. I tried to simplify this for you guys. These green lines are the ranges that I think they're going to go in, and that's the one that we're dealing with right now. So if you're entering Bitcoin right now, the most likely play out here is a move to 95,000 to the top of this range right here. Matter of fact, let me kind of move this around just a little bit right there. 94,100 seems to be the zone right there, the region, if you will. And then maybe a break back down into that 84.5 range. That's been a support level for a little while. So we'll see what that looks like. Now, the other thing is, it could be, we got a lot more support going into this right here at 85,300. So if we're to just kind of, let's just leave it right there for right now and say that I expect one of these ranges to be hit pretty soon, most likely the upward side of the range. So if you're going right now, go long, because it looks like probably going to get a breakout. We're at the end of the year. That doesn't mean we're not going to get a dip. We normally see a spike in action in January, and a lot of people are going to layer themselves in because they think that this market is about to send. So you'll start to see some action coming up very, very soon. Same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum is at the bottom of the range right now, not doing very well. Ultimately from its position, but I suspect that we're going to see some upward momentum. And the reason that I do is, as you zoom out, you'll find that this is actually a massive sort of range right here at around 3,500. That seems to be an obstacle, but it also seems to be a spot where Ethereum really likes to ride. So when we kind of zoom a little bit and we look at a volume profile, to get an idea, you can see there's a thick area of volume still right in that range right now. We are actually in one of the big volume ranges. The next one is 3,300, leading us up to the top right here at 35. If we get to 3,500, there'll be a breakdown, probably back to 3,300, maybe a little bit more down to 32, maybe back down into 31, and then boom, we're going to start breaking out, and I'll see 4,300 coming up pretty soon after that. So that's what I'm watching for, and that's what I'm looking for on Ethereum. Just if you're trading, follow those green lines right there, and just assume at this point that you're accumulating right now at 29, but that Bitcoin or that Ethereum is about to run to about 3,475, 3,500, somewhere in that range. Then again, could be a breakdown, could still, and there could always be a breakdown. But I think the chart ultimately looks pretty good for a move. So does Solana. Solana's doing the same thing. I suspect that we're going to see a move up to 145 on Solana coming up very soon. Don't really have too much to talk about other than it just looks like we're going to start trading through this range right now. We've had a move up. We had a move down, we had a move up, we had a move down, we had a move up, we had a move halfway down, we had a move back up, then we had a move all the way down, then we had a double bottom over here, which basically means we've got a triple bottom or even a quadruple bottom, if you want to call it that way. So I suspect, again, another move up to about $145. XRP, same thing. I'm looking for XRP ultimately to go to $2.70, where it's going to consolidate for a little time, which is going to be in the top of this range right here. But for right now, I think 205 is the next stop on the XRP elevator. So be watching out for that. Tau still not breaking out, but look where it is. It's in the zone right now. It's in an ascending pattern. It's using its support structure right here very well, but it's at the bottom of that structure, and the next support range over here is going to be right here at about $305. When you look through here, $305, $310, there's, you know what, I'm not comfortable there. I'm a little more comfortable right here. All right, so there, 305, let's call it. Actually, driving me crazy right now, so we're going to put it at 305. So 305 looks to be the number for BitTensor. I think is coming up very, very soon. I think we're going to get a surprising run out of BitTensor pretty soon. Ultimately, however, I think we're going to run up to about 700, and it's going to happen very, very quickly. The last time it happened, it was down here. Just to get an idea here, $165 in August of 2024. By December, it was at $750. Okay, so I think it runs significantly when it runs. Also, because of where it was, if we get the same amount of interest, then I would say that that first big top right there, followed by this right here, means that a breakout, if it does break out, somewhere in the neighborhood of $800 might even be on tap. So if you don't have any Tau right now, be a good time to pick some up. Not going to have the life-changing gains of some of the smaller coins, but it's still gonna have a nice run. So I would be watching for that. BNB at 860. I told you to sell at 1353. I told you that the next pump was going to take it to 1200. I think we did get to 1200, but that came a little bit I don't think that was enough dip over there to really qualify. So I think this breakdown right here, and by the way, again, same thing as BitTensor. If you look at it from this context and you start to look down here, guess what? You're actually playing in a really upward sort of channel right now. So with that being the case, I do think that we're going to start pumping from this range coming up very, very, very soon. Also, there are a lot of different points right here where you've got this sort of wedge playing out right there. You've got this sort of range playing out right there. Then you've got the top to the top. And that top to top right there looks pretty good. Like, it looks like it's going through this sort of range right there. So, you know, if we play that out and draw that out just a little bit deeper, then you could see BNB having a significant rally back up here into the $1,500–$1,600 range in very, very short order. So watch for BNB to have a breakout moment as well. Avalanche as well. Listen, I left this on here. I didn't do my green lines. I didn't do that with BNB because I want to show you a couple of these. I told you guys that I thought that what was going to happen with Avalanche was we're going to break out of this, which we did sideways, then it broke back down, hit the bottom over here of this range, and now it's starting to bounce. And I think that that's going to mean that it's going to have a significant bounce back up here into about $18 coming up very, very soon, which actually makes sense because horizontal ray right about top of that right there. So I think that Avalanche is ultimately going to have a big move right there. So I would be watching for that to go into play right now. Luna Classic, somebody asked me what to do on Luna Classic, and I said set a buy order at 4 zeros 25.12 right now, because I think it's going to break back down to the bottom over here. It is at the 786 right now, so there could be a massive reversal, but it doesn't seem to be playing out very well. So that could just be the market. We could see a massive reversal happening right now. I wouldn't fault you if you were buying it at 4 zeros 37 right now. But, you know, again, I get the feeling that there might be some correction still necessary. Trump is down to 489, 490. I have some Trump looking for a big spike back up to $8.75. I'm not putting it any further than that right now. I think this is going to be the first meme coin to hit 100 billion market cap when it's time. We just haven't seen that time yet. Near Protocol at $1.50 right now. Again, scoop it up. Go for the range up here at $1.83. That's going to be about a 20% gain. Ondo at 37 cents seems like it's a steal for a move back up to 54 cents, which would be almost 20, 30, that's 60% gain off of Ondo. Pendle. Pendle, I don't have an analysis for, but I told you guys that I thought this was going to happen. And guess what happened when I thought it was going to happen? I told you guys it was at the bottom of this range right now, and it should break to the top of the range. Guess what it did instead? It broke all the way down because Wintermute happened on October 10 and sold off and dumped on everybody's price action, which of course scared a lot of people. But now you've got a double bottom formed with this and then this right here. So you could be looking at, you had this downward move, then you had this sort of correction. Now you should have a big move incoming for Pendle back up into this range at $5 or $6. SWI, basically the same thing right now, moving just with the rest of the market right now, trying to find that bottom. I think we kind of found, or we're very close to the bottom. If nobody's selling their Bitcoin anymore, long-term hodlers, I mean, if they're not selling their Bitcoin anymore, then they're not convinced that this bull run is over. They're holding on. So I suspect we're going to see Pendle have a breakout, probably above that line right there at $2.33 coming up very, very soon. Dev, not really sure what's going on there. Tom came into chat for the first time in days. They're celebrating Christmas holidays and stuff, and we'll see what happens. By the way, to give you guys an update on Veracity, had somebody, and I want to thank you guys for being so supportive, because on my X account, we ended up getting about 30,000 views on this Veracity thing. The self-nuking of Veracity should be studied. They just annihilated their own holders without even saying a word. Got a lot of engagement on it. And then some guy came in and said, you don't know shit about TA, broski. It's going to bounce from right here. And guess what? It's still dumping. So he was wrong. I was right. So LOL. Blocky AI agent says, check messages. All right, hold on 1 second here. While we're doing this, give me 1 second here. Oh, hell no. No. Roger, that's we're gonna end up trapping people in that. I don't want to do that. Let's just focus on Blocky, man. This is just another Jeff. This is just another Jeff thing. I don't know. I mean, if he reaches out and he wants a promo or something like that, we'll do it. But man, you know what's gonna happen there. You know what's gonna happen. But hey, guys, listen, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to get out of here. We're trying to keep these shows short. That was 26 minutes, so I think we did a pretty good job. It's not financial advice.